are two truths and a lie about yourself?
I've met 5 presidents. I'm over 40 years old and I've never once been drunk. And I once caddied for the Dalai Lama. Briefly.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Mission, Texas until I was 18.
What cities have you lived in?
I have lived in Mission, Texas, Grapeland, Texas, College Station, Texas, Grapevine, Texas, Bedford, Texas, Arlington, Virginia, Cathedral City, California, Desert Hot Springs, California, and now in Spokane, Washington.
List all of your pets.
My first dog was named Dixie. She's a pit bull, and she was awesome and super sweet, and I used her as a pillow, and she was very protective of me. Soon came Taffy. Taffy was a half golden retriever, half basset hound, and everybody who ever saw her says she was the most hilarious looking dog that I'd ever seen because she looked exactly like a golden retriever, but she had little bitty short basset hound legs. My brother got into trying to breed Cocker Spaniels for profit, and then I got a black Cocker Spaniel I named Chocolate Covered Donut. Just called him Donut for short. He was really cool. I had 2 horses, a Hackmore mare named Lady. When we got her, we didn't know that she was pregnant, and so shortly thereafter she had a foal we named Firecracker because she was born fairly close to the 4th of July, and she was kind of a firecracker red color. I had a pet bird that my father named Double Ugly, or DU for short. Double Ugly was a grackle who had been blown out of a tree in a big storm out of his nest. And I rescued him and raised him. His sibling didn't make it, but he did. And when he got old enough to fly, I kind of taught him to fly, and then he would hang out outside, and then every time I got home, he would swoop down from the trees and land on my shoulder. But he was only with us for a year. When all the grackles flew south for the winter, Double Ugly went with them, and we never saw him again. I had a ferret named Clyde, specifically Clyde the Wonder Ferret. Clyde was a cinnamon-colored ferret, which was really unusual. Clyde would go everywhere with me. He'd hang around my shoulders, and we'd just go places. I'd stick him in the car, and he'd crawl into my glove compartment, curl up, and go to sleep. And we pretty much went everywhere together, went for walks together. I took him to church, which I really probably shouldn't have done, but I did. My mother called him a snake with fur, but he was really cool. And there was Rascal, my favorite dog ever. Rascal was just awesome, but technically that was Grandma's dog, not mine. And after 8 years of marriage, Debbie finally allowed me to have a kid dog, and we named her Jelly Bean because she was a little tiny. And she lived to about 2 years old, and then dug out of a fence and got hit by a car. And we got another terrier after that. We named Snickers, and he's with us now.
When were you born again?
I was born again when I was 5 years old in 1980. The short story is there was a revival at church. We had gone. I felt profoundly aware of my own shortcomings, of my own sin. And I went to Mom and Dad Mom and Dad had already put us to bed, and they were watching probably Johnny Carson, because that's what they watched tonight. And I kept going out of my room to go bug them, and they kept telling me to go back to bed, which I did. And then after like the 3rd time, they finally figured out that something was up. They came and asked me about it, and I said, I am a sinner, and I need Jesus. And so Dad prayed with me, and Mom prayed with me, and I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior.
What is your favorite memory of your father?
I don't know how old I was. I really don't remember how old I was, but we went on this camping trip with the church. Just some boys in the church and their fathers. So father-son camp out. We went to Lost Maple State Park, and we backpacked into this campground that we've been to many times. It was a beautiful place. We loved it. But there was a huge storm that night, and we got drenched. Even though our campsite was on top of a hill and the water was draining off, there was just so much water that it was filling up the tents. And I got soaked. I was on the ground in a sleeping bag. The sleeping bag very quickly got soaked. And so I crawled up on top of Dad, and I slept the night on Dad's belly, and he just held me and kept me dry that way. It was a horrible night. We were all miserable. Everything was soaked, and that's my favorite memory of my father.
What is your favorite memory of your mother?
My mom. I have several favorite memories, and I'm just not able to choose. One One is I had surgery when I was 5, and Mom had stayed with me overnight, and she held my hand as they were wheeling me towards surgery and praying with me the whole time. And I love that memory. Another one is for my 9th or 10th birthday, I'm not really sure. And Mom went kind of all out. She took all the furniture out of my room, and a lot of that was big, heavy furniture, real wood furniture. And she took all the mattresses from the entire house and she made it a padded cell, basically, where us boys could just go crazy and literally bounce off the walls. She also went to Robo Usada and got a bunch of old women's clothes, and she put them into bags, and she did this game where you had to reach into the bag and you had to either wear the piece of clothing you brought out or you had to eat whatever you came out with, which was mainly baby food. And it was absolutely hilarious seeing all these little, 9, 10-year-old boys dressed up in old women's clothes. It was hilarious, and I loved it.
What's your favorite memory of your brother?
My brother used to read to me a lot before I could read for myself, and there was this one particular dinosaur book that I just absolutely loved. It was about Tyrannosaurus Rex and Stegosaurus and all these other dinosaurs, and he would read that thing to me over and over and over sitting on the couch before bed, and I loved it. My brother also taught me to count past 10. My brother also taught me to write my own name, and then I promptly wrote my name over all of his toys.
What is your favorite memory that isn't your kids or your spouse?
My favorite memory that isn't part of my own family is Andrew and Melissa's wedding. That's Uncle Bones and Aunt Mel. I got to play a small part in getting them together in the first place. It was obvious to me that Andrew was absolutely crazy for this girl, but he wouldn't admit it to himself. I just got him to acknowledge it. That's all I did, and ask her out. I'm proud of it, though. I got to see them a lot when they were dating, and of course at Frontier Camp, where we worked with them both. And then I got to be in the wedding, and it was really, really cool to see 2 of my best friends get married to each other. It was really awesome.
What is your favorite wedding memory?
My favorite wedding memory is just having everybody who ever meant anything to me all in one place at one time. A lot of those people I hadn't seen in many, many years. A lot of those people I haven't seen since, and just having them there all in one place, everybody who's ever meant anything special to me, was a big deal, and I love that part.
What is something that you did that you hope your kids never do?
Study political science for a major. It's useless. Smoke cigarettes. Don't even try. It's awful, and you'll be addicted before you know it and before you can stop. And lastly, have an unrequited love.
What career do you think Izzy and Gia will have when they grow up?
Gia will be a kung fu, marine biologist, mycologist, and Academy Award-winning actress. Isabel hates the spotlight and hates being the center of attention. She's just too shy for it. She's also profoundly helpful and extremely giving, and I cannot imagine her being someone's indispensable right-hand person.
What is your favorite natural place?
That's a little hard to pick. That would be Garner State Park on the banks of the Frio River in Texas. We sort of grew up there. We would go for 2 weeks every summer for a dad's vacation and just camp there with the whole family. And that's where I took your mother for our honeymoon too. My other pick would be Yosemite Valley. That was the most gorgeous place I've ever seen in my life, and the fascinating thing to me about it was you could walk 10 steps and look at the same object and see it in a completely new way, and it would take your breath away all over again. One of the most majestic things I've ever seen was the view from the trash can in Yosemite Valley.
What is your favorite city?
As a rule, I hate cities, and I can't think of a single one I'd like to visit. I hate the endless ocean of concrete. I hate the endless ocean of people. I hate the crowds. I hate the traffic. I hate cities. But if I had to pick one, San Diego, because I love the beaches there.
What is your favorite season?
Winter. Growing up in Texas, winter just meant that things got slightly cooler. Winter in the Rio Grande Valley was about 60 degrees, sometimes a little cooler, but not much. Now that we moved to Spokane, winter means snow and white Christmases, and I absolutely love it. There will probably come a day when I learn to hate snow, but for now, it's new and fun, and I love it.
What's your favorite meal that your mother made?
My favorite meal that I can remember is Mom's roast beef potatoes. She would make them a lot of Sundays, just turn on the oven before church, and we'd come home and it'd be ready, and it was wonderful.
What's your favorite part of being a parent?
My favorite part of parenthood is getting to see my parents and my brother in a whole new light, a whole new perspective. When I have my love for my kids, now I finally understand how my parents really felt about me. when I see Isabella and Gia interacting together and playing together and fighting together and loving each other and hating each other, I'm acutely aware that they are 4 years apart, just like Uncle Doug and I are. I get to see how Isabel thinks of Gia, and I know that that's how Doug must have felt about me too. When I see Belle getting jealous because the universe no longer revolves around her, now there's another child in the house who gets attention too, I can understand that, and I know that's how Doug must have felt about me. And I'm sorry.